let's take you back to Soweto now, where Police Minister Bheki and National Commissioner General Fani Masemola are visiting Orlando, of course, and we believe that they're answering some questions from the media. Let's quickly take a listen.
Able to gather so far, and the amount of ammunition that were found at the scene. Please can you repeat that for us in English? And then number two, what do you believe could have led to crime? All right, Minister.
Well, I think Jacaranda and Zikona, same question. Just a bloody weekend in the country. As 15 people were killed here, you know that 2 people were killed at Katlehong. You know that 4 people were killed in Pietermaritzburg. 2 people were killed in Nanda. 18 and 20 and 21, one survived. So it was just a bloody weekend. The coordinated weekend. We don't have that information as the police that this was coordinated. We have separate issues, especially the 3-1 Maritzburg one, the Nomzamo one, and the Katlehong one. They happened in Chipeng. We believe that they could just they coincided rather than coordinated, which tries to answer the question that do we believe that is terrorism as it was labeled. We don't believe it's terrorism. It's a criminality that is brutal, it's a criminality that is violent, that will have to work as such, because terrorism is a very high level of criminality, organized. Will have to have some evidence as the police to be able to say so. Otherwise, we'll be really speculating in a very serious matter. So we don't believe it's terrorism. How far have we gone? There were about plus 130 empty cartridges of AK-47, which means those people that were there were really meant business of killing. AK at any given time, you put 30 bullets on it, which means time and again they would reload that AK. But again, the suspicion is that there were about 3 of those rifles that were among those 5 people that were identified there. But also there were cartridges of pistols, of small guns. So it's a group of people, for whatever reason, that we believe will get the motive as soon as we find them, that they intended to come here and do the damage that they did. Where was the intelligence at the time? Where was the intelligence?
General Mawela?
Yeah, Siyabonga Minister. All our operations are intelligence-led. It doesn't mean that if they've missed that one, intelligence does with information. But certain things we want to reveal a lot. We are actually empowering the criminals. They will forever counter whatever we want to do. Not to share. Thanks.
All right, thank you, General. Let's take the second round. To see hands, please. There's one just next to me. And of course, go ahead.
Hasina Gori, SABC News. Just want to get a sense of how many people are still injured, how many are still in hospital. Do we have a sense of that right now?
All right, Mulogo.
All right, Minister, thanks. My name is Mulogo from eNCA. I have 2 quick questions.
Two big questions.
Yes.
Big or quick?
No, one is when you say you are going to heighten deployment here in whatever form, some people are going to accuse you of being reactive, and they would say, what about the beans that you said are way more than churches and so what is the solution? What's going to happen? Because surely it's not the case only here in this part of the country.
All right, let me just look for one last question, colleagues. That's a follow-up. Let me just see a fresh hand. There you go, my sister.
Minister, in terms of the high caliber ammunition that we're seeing in the area, you mentioned that you will go door to door. I'm not sure if you've already answered this question, but when will that operation begin? And will it be actually every home that you go into?
All right, the last question, Minister, for this press conference.
Thanks, Francis. Puleli Treaty Jones again from eNCA. Minister, do you think that the July unrest contributed to this? I mean, there were allegations of ammunition that went missing, excuse me, and people having stolen ammunition. Do you think that would have also contributed to this of criminals having been armed heavily like this? And secondly, is there a coordinated strategy to look into some of
of the media. There are many preventative measures that we do that we are not reactive. Yes, here we have to react, we have to work with the people, we have to put hope. And Umawela was saying, some of these are intelligence driven, so we'll act before those things happen. July, absolutely no. We just believe that it's a criminality that coincidentally happens on the same time. We have been monitoring the media calling on July and all that. We think we are a better place this time of dealing with such issues, especially in the provinces where it happened before, which is Gauteng and KZN. I think we are fine. Maybe the ship-ins machine of ship-ins.
I'll answer, but this is really a provincial matter, because what we find is that as we encounter these challenges, we discover more stakeholders that need to be around the decision-making tables as we're coming up with interventions. And the Liquor Board has been identified as one such stakeholder. It is a concern and it's repetitive. In every area we go into, there's a significantly higher number of shebeens or liquor outlets than there are social amenities or anything else in that area, whether it's schools, clinics, churches and everything else combined. You'll have more liquor outlets. And so this is increasingly becoming a problem, and it says the Liquor Board needs to be with us in this fight. As I said, we are concluding the city safety strategy, which we're working on jointly with the SAPs and other law enforcement agencies, and these are some of the things that will assist us in putting together strategies. Who needs to be around the table? What needs to be the area of focus so that ultimately we all win? Of course, the city has a role through the JPD, through law enforcement. We do ensure that all outlets are licensed and that they adhere to the parameters of their licenses. So that work will continue, as I've said. JPD is already on the ground. They will work with the SAPs in the joint operations on the ground, and we'll make sure that in terms of law enforcement, we also pull our weight and that we close that gap.
Thank you, EM. There is a last question that was directed to the Minister.
But there was no shooting in Eastern Cape, Shabin. So this is not the same, it's not similar with what happened in Eastern Cape. In Eastern Cape, there was a different kind of thing. Kids died. There was no stampede in Eastern Cape. Unfortunately, up to this point, the laboratories are still checking something called toxicology. Toxicology are checking on that. We are told that the thing takes between 12 and 18 to 24 months to get the results, but they are moving faster so that we are able to know, and the parents are able to know. There are preliminary things that are known. No stampede. There was a fear of fumes and all that, but it does look like it's between those fumes that were inhaled and the things that were consumed. But for now, let's wait until the doctors, the pathologists and scientists, they come with a full answer on that one. In terms of figures that you have asked, PC will give us those numbers.
Okay, before you do PC, there seems to be one last bite which is directed to the Minister.
1 minute. You know we are likened to war zones in terms of violent crime. When are we ever going to win this war?
I'm not very sure. Most of you read and follow news. 2 months ago, 2 months ago, there was a shooting in one school in the United States of America. The figure that was given, though, the stats, that was 148th day of the year. It was still in May. The figures that were given is that was a 215th mass shooting. That was a 215th mass shooting in the United States. Mass shooting means more than one person going up. I'm sure you saw another mass shooting this week where 8 people were killed. So this comparison in a war zone, I always have a little bit of a problem with it. Secondly, South Africa is one of the countries that now and again issue statistics, crime statistics. Many countries don't issue crime statistics. Now, when you compare, you'll have to help me to say you compare these stats with what stats. Countries like, especially Latin America, your countries in Brazil and others, don't give crime statistics. So don't come to me and then we're worse on that, as if we have the world statistics. We don't. That does not mean that we're not a violent country. We're a very violent country. We need to deal with that as a community, as a state, as a human race in South Africa, including every individual, including every family, especially on the gender-based violence. Families will have to really play a very serious role, as I've given the statistics that more people are raped in their own houses by the very same people they know. Indeed, we'll have to work on that. But to say we're worse than the world, that keeps coming. I visited 2 or 3 months ago. I went to one of the countries, Nigeria, and I asked them their statistics. They say, we don't do the thing here. So now, this comparison, I hope one day you will be more discreet in finding what are you comparing us with. Yeah, definitely we'll have to win. We don't have an option. We'll have to win. By the way, we had good years here. I had the executive director of the ISS giving the good years, where we had a very low crime stat. That is 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. If you can go and look at the crime stats, we're very low. Indeed, we put all of us the shoulder on the wheel. We have no option but to win. We hope it comes closer, it comes earlier, but we'll definitely win.
Minister, it looks like your responses have encouraged some more questions. We'll take the last two, Minister. Zikona, and we'll take Jacaranda. Go ahead, Zikona.
Minister, we've seen you a lot visiting big crime scenes. I just want to understand, what is the track record of your visitations at these crime scenes, and what is really the purpose behind you there on these big crime scenes?
All right. Yes. Just in terms of the nationality of those who are deceased or which parts of the country they're from, do we perhaps know that information?
And I'm definitely not going to give you that nationality. People can complain about Shanganese and vendors and Zulus. I'm not in the league of complaining about and explaining people in that way. But it does look like most of the people that got injured and come from the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The big number comes from there. This visitation, Zikona, is not necessarily to come to the crime scene. It's to come and speak with the people in that particular area. It's to come and address and brief them and be able to work together. I hear people saying, what are you doing in the crime scene? Crime scene is not mine. Crime scene is theirs. But addressing the people is not theirs. It's for politicians. So it's nothing wrong to come and brief the people. As yesterday, we gave a lot of space for investigation, the teams and all that. You are here today because the community wants to see if we're taking them. But another thing, there was a lot of call yesterday, so you need to come and respond. It's got nothing to do with investigation, but at the same time, we need to be with the communities and try to put some hope and some explanation and some form of accountability. How far do we think we'll go?
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, colleagues.
Okay.
That
Mike?
true to the promise by the SAPS.
All right, that was Police Minister Begicele along with other officials answering questions in Orlando in Soweto. Of course, this comes off the back of what happened yesterday with 15 people being killed in a mass shooting, 8 others still recovering in hospital. Of course, the media also asked him more questions about the Tavern incident, where he said that forensics and toxicology experts have promised government that they will fast-track the results of what caused those deaths. Of course, he says it usually takes about 12 to 24 months for families to get closure or answers from toxicology experts, but he says they've gotten a promise that that will be fast-tracked. Let's take you to a